Today we're making a healthy, high-protein pizza crust. So I have 1/2 cup of gluten-free flour. I'm using this brand Queen Street Bakery, but you can use any 1-to-1 gluten-free flour. And to my flour, we are gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and also 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. So we're making a self-rising flour here. So we're just gonna mix that together till it's nice and combined. And yes, I'm mixing using my measuring spoon. I just don't wanna dirty any extra dishes. And for our final ingredient, so this is a super easy crust recipe, we're gonna add 3/4 cup of Greek yogurt. So I'm using my 1/4 cup measuring spoon and we're just gonna do that 3 times. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're just gonna mix this until fully combined. It should start to form a dough. So this dough is going to be very sticky. So I recommend spraying your hands with some olive oil spray. I am all out of spray, so I'm just gonna add a little bit on my hands just so nothing sticks. So we're gonna form our dough into a ball here. I'm making a smaller, more personal sized pizza. So I have some parchment paper here that I also added a little bit of oil to because again, this is very sticky. And I'm gonna go wash my hands really quick. Now you're gonna add a little bit more oil on top of your dough so that again, it does not stick because we're gonna place more parchment paper on top and we're just gonna flatten this out. I was gonna use my rolling pin, but I actually don't even think that I'm going to need it. So carefully remove the parchment paper, add a little more oil to my hands, and then you can just kind of gently form it into whatever kind of crust shape that you want. You can also form crust edges if you want. So I'm just kind of gently shaping it into a circle here. Okay, so this is not going to go on a baking sheet or anything. You're just gonna carefully transfer it straight from the parchment into the oven. It's gonna bake at 350 for about 10 to 15-ish minutes probably. And then we'll add toppings, the best part. And then we'll try our high protein, super easy Greek yogurt pizza crust. All right, we're transferring our pizza crust. Be super careful with your hands here into the oven. So we'll check back in about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, I actually made this pizza crust a little bit thicker than I normally would. So it has been about 17 minutes, but you can see that it's nice and golden brown around the edges, which is exactly what we want. And it's gonna be a little bit softer of a dough, which I'm actually excited for. So I'm gonna let this cool and then we'll add some toppings. So you guys can see the bottom of this crust is nice and crispy. It holds together really well. So I'm gonna add some pasta sauce. I'm using this spicy pasta sauce from Whole Foods. And I'm just gonna add a few spoonfuls and then we'll gently spread that around. I love this pasta sauce because it's made with olive oil and it has no added sugar, which are the 2 main things I look for in a pasta sauce. I also like my pizza on the saucier side. I like a good amount of sauce, but I know with these homemade healthier crusts, sometimes they don't hold together quite as well. So I'm gonna do a moderate amount. This looks about good, leaving a little bit of space around the edges for the crust. So I shredded some fresh mozzarella that I'm gonna add right on top. I always forget how easy it is to make homemade pizza that's healthier. It is so quick and easy, it's delicious, and obviously much healthier. So last but not least, I'm gonna add some organic turkey pepperoni. This is from Applegate. I love their pepperoni. I think they actually just did a little bit of a new formula because I think these ones aren't gonna curl up as much as they normally do. Okay, that looks good. So I'm gonna put this back in the oven until the cheese is nice and melted, probably about 5 to 10 more minutes. All right, it's been about 10 minutes and our cheese is nice and melted. Our pizza is looking delicious. So I'm gonna let this cool for a bit and then we'll slice into it. All right, so our pizza has cooled for a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna slice into it. All right, moment of truth. Check out that dough. There's the bottom of our crust. This actually worked so well. It looks delicious. It feels exactly like a normal pizza crust. Okay, I am very excited to try this out. Wow. This is definitely the most like regular pizza crust I have ever made. I have tried a lot of different healthier pizza crusts and I actually really like all of them. But I think that this one is the closest to tasting and feeling like a regular pizza crust. So I am very impressed with this. That is so good. You guys have to try this one, especially if you love pizza. This is the perfect, healthier way to get your pizza craving.